Joe Castiglione at Fenway Park. The backdrop to game number 162. Red Sox ending the 2024 season against the Tampa Bay Rays today. The Sox, Red Sox Nation, saying goodbye to its radio voice of summer for 42 years. And we'll be simulcasting Joe's final ninth inning call on WEEI on NESN as well. Red Sox needing to win to avoid a losing season. Kevin Youkilis, Lou Merlone, and Jemai Webster joining me for the finale coming up next.
Watching my special, aren't you?
No, I just got this great NFL offer. Guaranteed, all up front. And this one's going to be hard to pass up.
Breaking news. LeBron James has a guaranteed...
Joseph Aboud. Joseph Aboud. Every day is a special occasion. By Audi. Visit your New England Audi dealer today. PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. WB Mason. Shipping and packaging supplies. Delivered fast with no expensive freight charges. And by buyatoyota.com. For offers not seen on TV. Visit buyatoyota.com. A lot of hugs for Joe Castig down on the field. That'll be the case all afternoon from his booth as well, right next door. Jackie Bradley Jr. catching Joe's pitch. And the honors pouring in for one of the great gentlemen of baseball. This is such a happy day for Joe, knowing he's moving into retirement and all that that's going to bring him. It's a sad day for so many of us, too. Great friends of his, people who just love working with him, like me, who are lucky enough to work alongside that man and be in his company for many of these 42 years where he has meant so much to New England. Today's matchup is presented by Joseph Aboud. At Joseph Aboud, every day is a special occasion. This one certainly is today. The season finale, 162. Red Sox going in 80-81, the exact same record as Tampa Bay. So not only is a winning record, or at least 500 record, I should say, on the line, a non-losing record for both of these teams, Red Sox are trying to stay out of fourth place. Craig Breslow will be with us at some point in the broadcast. I believe that's the third inning. We are scheduled to have him with us in the booth. So I hope you can be with us at that point today. Meanwhile, Quinn Priester has the ball, making his Red Sox debut here in the last one. And here's the lineup he'll be taking on, brought to you by Nissan. Richie Palacios will lead it off. He's at second base for Tampa Bay. Junior Caminero at third. Jonathan Aranda at first base. Morel's in left with Lowe in right. DeLuca, the center fielder. Carlson, the DH. Caballero back in there, the speed merchant, the shortstop. He has 44 stolen bases. Missing yesterday after getting hit by a pitch the day before. And Driscoll does the catching, batting ninth. Taking on the Red Sox starting pitcher, brought to you by buyatoyota.com, and that'll be Priester at 2-6, ERA a little over 5, making his Red Sox debut. Is acquired from the Pirates in July for Nick York. A look at the Red Sox defense presented by Bigelow Tea on the infield. Valdez at third today. Sogard, Grissom, and Casas over at first. The outfield, Duran in left, Rafaela in center, Abreu in right. Many think that'll be the outfield next year on an everyday basis. And Wong catching Priester. Umpires today, Doug Eddings has home plate. Chad Whitson at first. Brian Walsh at second. Bill Miller makes the calls at third. Where available, the telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP is brought to you by Toyota Certified Used Vehicles. Beautiful day here. Bayo and Pedro. Wouldn't you like to be flying a wall for that one? As Palacios gets in, and we are underway on ball one. And it was a great photo just moments ago when it was Joe Castig with Roger Clemens and Pedro Martinez chatting not far from the pitcher's mound. This one will be filed back by Palacios, hitting .227 with 5 home runs. Lou Merlone and Kevin Youkilis both down on the field for the Joe Castiglione ceremonies. A 1-1 is going to run inside and going to get him. Here's Joe and Pedro and the Rocket. Now that's a photo for a lifetime right there. You get a chance to call their careers here in Boston, and many other greats over 42 years, but it doesn't get greater than those guys. So Palacios is on, hit by a pitch, and that'll bring up Caminero.
Well, that's not the way you want to start this thing for Quinn Priester, huh?
No. Lou, great to see you.
Good to be back.
Did you see Uke anywhere along the way?
I'm here. I can't breathe.
They both made it. My partners are here for the day. Great to see you both.
We thought you'd just go like Vin Scully.
Well, I was thinking about it.
Maybe solo the whole time.
There's a strike. So, yeah, I thought you guys did wonderful work down there.
Oh, really?
You guys were terrific.
Well, he wouldn't have been able to throw the first pitch out if I didn't come on the field. Had to present him the ball. Right? So,
oh, you did that?
Oh, yeah. Me, Rich Hill, and Monty, Bob Montgomery.
I thought it was really, really cool. And for some of us, we were shedding a tear up here, too, listening to all those Joe calls over the years. And the championship calls, the World Series winning calls, and just great stuff. You get chills. 2-1 to Caminero. Priester made 6 starts at AAA Worcester, posting an ERA a little over 5. He was an 18th overall pick in 2019 in the first round by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the 3-1 in there for a strike.
Well, he's been throwing the ball actually pretty good here lately down in Worcester, so that's something. See how we can kind of build on that. 2.45 his last 4 starts in September.
Runner goes, and a chopper toward the hole, picked off by Sogard. Long throw over, nice play to get the out back to second, and can't double him up. Palacios diving in. Rangy play here by Sogard for the out.
Yeah, it's a great play here from Sogard. Going to his right. You know, it's kind of that do or die. Gets rid of it quickly and gets that hop to get the out. Costa's trying to fire on to double up Palacios, but a little too late.
So set up Aranda 240 with 6 home runs. And a wave and a miss for strike 1. Tampa Bay is taking the first 2. Red Sox needing to win to avoid a 3rd consecutive losing season. Casas with a backhand. He'll take it himself and get the out. Palacios into 3rd with 2 away. As we take a look at who's been getting it done. Presented by Home Depot. Quinn Priester making his Red Sox debut. As mentioned, acquired for Nick York. Has made 14 starts in his major league career. 5-9 with a 646.
Yeah, I mentioned his last 4 starts. 1-0 with a 2.45. 197 batting average down in Worcester. We saw him out in Pittsburgh. He made a start. Wasn't, I mean, 4 1/3. He gave up 7 hits. He gave up 3 homers. Abreu, I think, put him in the river.
He did.
Yeah, and then Refsnyder went off. Casas got him. That was the game Bayo pitched before he went on the IL.
Fly ball right center field. Plenty of space for Rafaela, and makes the play. A runner stranded at 3rd. Alex Cora's last lineup of the season brought to you by Plymouth Rock. It'll be Duran leading it off. Jaron 48 doubles, so shot at 50. Grissom, Casas, Wong, Abreu, Sogard, and Rafaela. Mickey Gasper still looking for that first big league hit, 0 for 16, and Valdez at 3rd. Duran 285, 21 home runs. Taking on a Rays starting pitcher presented by PNC Bank. Ryan Pepio 8-7. Red Sox have just seen him recently, and they didn't really like what they saw.
No,
he's tough.
He's good. I mean, has that fastball, you know, commands it well, and I'll tell you, that's a pitch that he has a low batting average against with that, and it's something he's utilizing well. So we'll see how long he goes today, right? I mean, this last game, you know, you're trying to keep guys healthy, so I think the pitch count might be down a little bit, but You know, the last game is a lot of times a lot of bullpen games too.
Yeah, usually is. Swing and a miss for strike 3. He made fast work of Jaron there, and the last time he faced the Red Sox, September 18th, he struck out 12 in 6 innings.
Yeah. We'll get into Priester here in a minute. Give me the defense, you.
Yeah, here's the Rays defense. We got Caminero at third base, Caballero at shortstop, Palacio at second, Aranda at first, Morel in left, DeLuca in center, Lowe in right, and the battery. Pepio doing the pitching, Driscoll doing the catching.
Grissom swinging away at the first one, pops that one foul and back out of play.
The problem with this guy is like his strengths match up against the Red Sox weakness, basically, right? You're talking about the fastball, 175 batting average against. It's the best in baseball. It's the highest whiff rate in the game as well. So 32% basically. So he just challenges with fastballs. He gets swing and miss, and we've seen that being a problem for the Red Sox lineup all year.
Yeah, it's a serious problem, and when we've seen it the most this year with this offensive team that has led in a lot of categories in the top 10 in baseball, but it's that runners in scoring position too. It's the ability to get the swing and miss when needed, and that's what he does well.
0-2 will miss. He had too many empty outs for the Red Sox by far. Needs to be corrected for next year. I'm sure it's on the list. Alongside starting pitching, right hand hitting, and more bullpen. Cut on a miss, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down on K's. That's my list, by the way. I don't know about Craig Breslow's list. He's got his own. We're going to find out what that is when he visits in the 3rd.
Yeah, that cutter right there, that's just location. Starts out on the plate, dives off a little bit. That is a pitch too, though, that he has a little bit of trouble with. 280 average against and a 640 OPS against the cutter. So right there, if he can throw it like that, he'll see those numbers go down.
Tristan Casas being more aggressive on that first pitch lately.
This whole lineup is just too much striking out. You know, the fastball up is one thing. You talk about discipline, getting on top of it, but the swing and miss in the zone on fastballs, that's something I think they're trying to figure out with a lot of these guys in this lineup. A lot of that is personnel.
And as you know, Lou, as a hitter, a lot of it sometimes is effort level. You know, when you're trying to kill the ball, you create these holes within your swing a lot of times. You know, sometimes you're like, man, if I'm just thinking about just trying to drive the gap a little bit, kind of calm down the swing, that's when the ball jumps even more. So
yeah, and you just explained that guy right there, Wilyer Abreu, right? When it comes to like the effort, sometimes it's like less is more for him.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, it's that you're hurt and you're trying to generate too much power. That's another thing too. When guys are sore, I remember that when I was a hitter, it's like, oh man, I'm just tight. I feel like I have to generate more, but it's actually the opposite. You got to calm down a little bit more, stay in your base, and utilize the hands.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Pepio right back where he was last time the Red Sox faced him, as he strikes out 3 straight.
Back here at Fenway, still scoreless in the top of the 2nd, and as you guys mentioned, the Red Sox debut for Quinn Priester, one that'll truly be telling for the work that he's done in AAA since being acquired in that 1-for-1 trade for Nick York. One of the biggest improvements that the Sox thought they could make with him was increasing his velocity. What they did with him was have him bring his hands closer to his body, he says, and higher upon release. That mechanical change helped him pick up some velo and will also keep him healthier, they told him. He told us yesterday that's been something he's really refined in AAA, but he's still building that part into his brain to repeat it. But this start, he says, a significant one for him taking this experience into the offseason, guys.
Josh Lowe making it out on a ground ball to Casas, and a flip to Priester out number 1.
That's part of the whole Breslow lab, right? Getting guys within the system, trying to figure out a way to get them to throw the ball harder, drafting guys kind of with that profile. And you know, we saw Priester in Pittsburgh, as we mentioned before, and it was 91, 92. Now we've seen him here about 93, 94, but he's been getting it up to 96 with that fastball and a couple 2 different breaking pitches. So whether it's working, we'll see. It's year 1, right? I mean, that's the name of the game, is try to improve the arms that you have in your system. Let's check out his arsenal. It's presented by Audi. Did you see that fastball? The sinker, 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. They both sit around 93. The slider and the curveball, 2 different breaking balls. We saw the changeup there to Lau was wet, especially.
Tell you another thing, not on that list. He works fast.
Boy, does he ever. This is like Cooper Criswell fast.
We love that too.
He wants to go. 1-2 on DeLuca. Just a little low with the curveball. Dylan Carlson on deck. And a little pop up on the infield. Coming on over Casas to snatch that with his foot speed. 2 down. Well, looking around baseball in the American League, Bobby Witt Jr. is going to win the batting crown for Kansas City, and of course they're into postseason play. 332.
He's my MVP.
Your MVP.
Because Kansas City got in.
So did New York.
But they get in every year.
Without Judge.
Aaron Judge, 58 home runs, will win the home run crown. He will also win the RBI title with 144.
Yeah. I mean, I think Witt is all-around player.
That's where I go.
Different level, but Aaron Judge, talking about history, same thing with Ohtani, what he's doing with Lindor. I think Judge, those two walk away with it.
Is that Will Middlebrooks working the phone? I think it is. So National League, Luis Arraez likely to win the batting crown, but still a little bit up in the air. He's hitting 314. Ohtani 310. As part of that incredible season that Shohei Ohtani has had.
Oh, look at this ball.
That is going to knuckle its way into center field for a base hit. Came back, kind of sliced its way back, and Carlson's on with a 2-out single.
Yeah, that's not one you want in the golf swing in the offseason. The way this ball went, I mean, he sliced this thing into center. That is a thing of beauty as a hitter.
Caballero to climb in next.
Did you see that actually Arraez and Ohtani could actually tie? Same amount of at bats, same amount of hits. There's like a couple different. It's like a 3 for 4, 0 for 2. You know, average is hard to tie, right? It's all percentage points. They can actually have the same amount of hits and at bats and tie for the title.
It's basically if Arraez gets a hit, he's pretty much winning it. Correct?
Yes.
I mean, look at this season. This is just ridiculous. 54 home runs, 58 stolen bases. De La Cruz with 65, going to win that title. But amazing. Just amazing.
Does he push for 2 more bags?
See, this is why I think he should be they should move into a reliever role. Try to be the closer.
I love that idea.
Like, I think it'd be so much fun to have Ohtani as the closer more than him starting. He can keep focusing on hitting as much. It's kind of hard to be a starter, with the hitting.
Base hit to right,
but he's found a way. It's been so impressive.
Carlson will stop as the throw comes back in behind him. Back-to-back singles with 2 down.
We saw that in the WBC. The question is, when does he warm up? I mean, you want him to close the game. He's up second.
Yeah, he does.
Top of the 9th.
Doesn't need it.
That's it.
Just goes out.
So he hits the bomb in the 8th inning to put them in front, and then he just goes out and starts warming up on the mound here.
I think in the WBC it worked out to where because they actually showed him running out to the bullpen. Maybe it just got hit, and now he's running out in the top of the 9th to get loose. But you could run into a spot where you can't get loose.
Here's the thing: you don't put it past him.
Hey, listen, you do the Shohei Ohtani rule. You allow him to get 15 warm-up pitches and go at it. Right? I mean, they made a rule for him already.
Remarkable.
Let's make a rule where he gets 15 warm-up pitches. Go at it. Let's go. Close it out.
So Priester allowing back-to-back hits with 2 down. Big wave and a miss by Driscoll. Just a 188 hitter.
So they call that a sinker. I think that's his changeup. It's not quite a Winkowski 92, but his changeup's 88 to 90. And about in front.
And I know Red Sox fans, it hurts to hear it, but Chris Sale's going to win a triple crown in the National League. And #1 in the ERA, #1 in wins with 18, #1 in strikeouts. Phenomenal season for Chris Sale.
Just threw some dirt on the wound there, OB.
It happened. 2-hopper. Grissom will handle that into second for the force play to retire the side. At Fenway for the last day of the season, bottom of the second coming up. Wong, Abreu, and Sogard just trying to make contact against Ryan Pepio. Struck out 12 Red Sox not long ago at Tampa Bay, and he had an immaculate inning in that performance too. Wong making contact, a fly ball to center. Kind of coming in at 280 with 13 homers. And on one pitch, he is retired.
You mentioned that, striking out 12. He only had 76 pitches down there in Tampa in 6 innings and struck out 12. He had 11 in the first inning and struck out the side. That's why I say that what he does is bad for this lineup. Like, just challenges with heaters, and we've had trouble catching up with him, that's for sure.
Batting stats presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Wilyer Abreu, 255. He's hit 15 home runs. I think anybody who looks at Tampa Bay as, fully healthy next year with their pitching staff whole on opening day should be really nervous about who wins the American League East, personally, as they are loaded with pitching.
Yeah, they have a 6-man rotation. They're going to have to figure it out. And injuries in spring training are a big deal now in baseball. It seems like every spring training there's somebody on a roster that goes down. But this guy right here, you got McClanahan, who's their ace. You got Boz, who we saw yesterday. You got Pepio. You got Springs, Rasmussen, and Bradley.
Yeah.
You're sitting back going, hey, we didn't have a great season due to injuries, but I feel great if we make, they definitely need some offense in different key areas. I think center field's one that they need to look at, but they're very good about going out and trading and getting the pieces they need.
Abreu becomes first base runner for the Sox today. He'll take ball 4. Then again, with pitching like that, you don't have to have a ton of offense.
Well, that's how they've won a lot, right? They've had a few good pieces in there. One guy that has a career year, and they just pitch, play defense.
You can win a lot of games 3-1.
And don't forget the X factor, the Trop and DJ Kitty. It's the greatest home field advantage in all sports. See? Look, you see the lose reaction?
See, it's different for me, though. It's different for me. I love going down there because when I played there, they were the Devil Rays, and they couldn't throw at all. It was like a hit factory.
That's when Canseco was there.
Yeah, when you were there, they were the Rays, and they could pitch.
Palacios out. DeLuca coming in, and the second baseman makes the play. 2 gone.
But when they traded for this guy for Glasnow, everybody was like, "Oh, the Dodgers got Glasnow," and it's like. But if you knew who this kid was, you were like, I didn't like the trade-off for a Red Sox fan because this guy's going to be here for 6 years. He's filthy. And Glasnow's really good. He's one of the best pitchers in the game 12 times a year. Like this year, 20 times a year. He threw 20 starts. Like, the guy's never healthy.
They missed time this season with an infection in his knee caused by a spider bite.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's kind of fluky, but still. Spider bite.
Well, now you know how to beat an opposition now. Go get some spiders, put them in the hotel.
Well, you definitely got a dark side to you, man.
Hey, gotta find any way to win.
Cedon, 244 with 15 home runs.
I don't think that's in the rule book, Obi, is it?
I don't think so. Needs one more stolen base for 20. And lines that one into center field. I'll drop down for a base hit. Abreu to second with 2 down. Red Sox had their first knock against Pepio.
Yeah, and that last day, too, you look down here, right? He's hitting at 244. He probably can't get to 250. That one hit secures 240, which he probably couldn't go under. There's one guy like Connor Wong, right? 280. You're going to hit 270, or you're going to stay above 280. And, of course, this man right here, it's about time Mickey gets this hit.
Mickey Gasper 0 for 16 at the big league level. And we'll foul one away for strike 1.
I think we had a game here at Fenway, Obi, where he just hit 2 rockets to left field, and because it was Fenway Park, left field was playing shallow. Probably better hit any other park.
Yeah, he was unlucky on that day. Liner, but foul.
Oh, man.
He's ready to hit today.
Yeah, yesterday he got a couple balls right down the middle on hitters counts 2-1 and took them. Probably was just guessing a different pitch. But I love how he's attacking the fastball today.
Got a chance for that first RBI too. Take care of a couple things. 0-2. Did he check? He wins. Bill Miller rings him up. Bill, have a heart, Bill. Moving to the third inning, no score on the last day of the season, and Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow kind enough to join us for this half inning. You were down on the field when Joe Castig Day unfolded. Lovely ceremony. Just a thought about Joe, because he covered you too.
Yeah, no, that was great, and really honored to be a part of such a wonderful day and such a wonderful celebration, such a wonderful man. You know, and I've gotten to know Joe very well over the last 15 years or so, and you know, his voice is kind of forever going to be attached with some of the greatest moments in Red Sox history. So really special day for everyone who was involved.
So I know you're looking forward to a nice, relaxing, quiet offseason around here.
Absolutely.
Because they always are. I know you heard you address like your starting pitching, right? Needs and starting pitching. I'm curious, like the order of it. Like, do you dive into free agency, see if you can get something done? If you can't get something done, then it turns into trade. Like, is there an order of it?
You know, in a perfect world, you probably would be able to sequence these things, but I think, you know, there have been a couple trends that have emerged over the last, I don't know, 3 to 5 years or so. Some of those being free agency lasting longer and longer into the offseason and at times into spring training and even into the beginning of the season. And then, you know, things like the winter meetings being the time when everyone gets together under one roof and, you know, a bunch of trades are executed. I think it's a challenge to say what the right order is, because a lot of the conversations are kind of ongoing and fluid, and you know, some will be picking up on initial discussions that happened at the trade deadline. So, you know, I think we have to try to run all of those plays at the same time and figure out ultimately how we improve the team.
Yeah, so Brez, you might need to check on Jason Varitek. He just took one right in the behind on a foul ball. So in the offseason, you might
unsurprisingly, though, it doesn't look like he's even flinched.
That's a good spot for him.
Ramon's loving it right now. He's laughing at it. But you know, you talked about the trends and things changing. You know, the style of trades to me has also seemed to be a little different of how to, you know, get pitching is one of those things that you have a lot of injuries. You know, a lot of teams are trying to hold on to it. Is it harder now to trade for pitching, or is it kind of just, you know, just the market and the way it's kind of gone over the past few years?
Yeah, I think it is really hard. I think, you know, the most valuable thing that you can have is controllable starting pitching, and that was something that we learned firsthand last offseason, you know, in exploring kind of all of those markets. When teams have controllable starting pitching, they ferociously protect it, and when they don't, they are willing to do almost anything to try to acquire it. Now, I think, you know, fortunately, we're in a position to be able to explore all of those paths, whether those are free agency or trade. We've got a number of, you know, young players that are desirable in that they're contributing at the big league level, or they're likely to be contributing soon. But I think, you know, we need to improve our starting pitching depth. There's no question about that.
After that, what's next on your list, Craig?
Yeah, you know, I think that may probably goes hand in hand with you know, shoring up the bullpen. Obviously, a couple of you know, significant losses, and then also just balancing out the lineup. You know, not only are we primarily left-handed here, but also a number of the guys that we believe will be impacting this team in the near future are also left-handed. And so, you know, I think trying to balance out the lineup, trying to take advantage of you know, the monster in the short wall and left is something that we can look to do as well.
Do you think you're going to get a vacation in this offseason?
No, I'm not sure what that would look like, when it would happen, or what that even means anymore.
Vacation. You know, we were just on that first inning there from Pepio. How much you have to address that, the swing and miss, the strikeouts, not putting the ball in play with, and that's a personnel thing, with also maybe young guys working on and improving as well.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of, you know, personnel, and there are certain swing profiles that tend to lend themselves to swing and miss, and others that don't. At the same time, I also think that there's a training component in making sure that we're really, you know, disciplined and structured in our work, so that we can address some of those deficiencies.
Greg, somehow I knew that was going to be a very fast inning, unfortunately. But good luck this winter, trying to get a little rest, and we'll see you come spring training.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Craig Breslow with us here today. Bottom 3 in for a strike on Manuel Valdez, playing third base today against Ryan Pepio. And a 0-0 game here in the season finale. Joe Castiglione, as proclaimed by the mayor of Boston, in a wonderful, very touching pregame ceremony. Chock full of Red Sox luminaries, World Series champions. There were a lot of rings down there today around Joe Castig, including his. He's wearing 4.
That's impressive.
Yeah, he's the best. Lucky enough to do games with him since 2013. I was in there with you, the 3 of us, calling the World Series.
Oh, that was a blast. Got Pedro on now.
Yeah, learned a lot from him. He's seen a lot of baseball, and he's remembered every single moment of them. Memory's amazing.
In there's strike 3 that freezes Valdez. You and I have been talking about that a couple times this season, that the catalog of Joe's memory, and he can pull out a page from 30 years ago, a Saturday afternoon against, the Kansas City Royals, and you're like, how do you remember that?
And it's not Hall of Famers. It's like 1978,
Yeah.
And he just names these random people. It gives you the situation in the game.
Shot into the alley. That's down for a hit. Duran back to first. I was thinking for a moment, as we always do when he finds the alley like that, but he's 1 for 2. So he's aboard with 1 away in front of Vaughn Grissom. I called games with Joe for 9 years on radio and just had the time of my life. And so today was very, very touching, and there's certainly a sad component, but people are like, what's your favorite memory working with Castig? And I think it was probably our first year, one of the first road trips. We went up to Toronto. The Sox got beat on a Saturday afternoon, long game. Back in the days when the Red Sox played 3.5 hours anyway, it was an extra inning game. It was a brutal defeat. Game went like 4.5 hours. So we get back to the hotel, and I said, I'll meet you for dinner in about 2 hours. And I go up to the room, and I'm getting ready to crash, and I look out the window, and Joe has left the hotel. He's walking somewhere. Then I have no idea where he's going. And I asked him at dinner, I said, where were you going at 5 o'clock in the afternoon after a game like that? He said, it was a mass at 5:30. Going to mass. And that was Castig. That is Joe. He is such a man of deep faith. It's not just something he practices, it's his life. Yeah. And I've always admired that so tremendously. That's who he is.
Well, I've heard from all different spectrums, as far as being a kid from Framingham and listening to him growing up, the Red Sox, and then, like I said, being in the booth playing and having him call my first at bat here at Fenway.
Yeah, they played it today.
There you go.
Shot toward the alley. Morel and DeLuca. No one's going to get that. It's off the green. Durant churning around. Going to be a throw and a bad one way off target all the way to the backstop, and that'll allow Grissom to advance all the way down to third, and the Red Sox on the board 1-0.
This is probably the most encouraging thing we've seen from Vaughn Grissom since he's come back. Driving the baseball. He looks stronger. A lot of injuries early on. He got sick. He lost a lot of weight. But driving the baseball more so. He's getting his hits. And that ball there, driven to left center field. Of course, Durant with his speed, he's going to score easily.
Now, Vaughn's looked a lot better at the plate. And defensively, these recent days, here's Tristan Casas looking to pick up an RBI, 0 for 1 with a K. 1-0 Boston.
The one thing you're seeing with Grissom too, he the ball in. He likes that ball in, right? He's going to turn a little bit. He's going to open up that front side, and he likes to turn on that thing. But that also exposes you to the outside. So when we see him, striking out, looking, or doing other things, it's trying to mix in both of those, right? So building upon that is, hey, you can cover this inner third, but you also got to work on not swinging outside that zone and chasing to the outside.
Pepio's fan 5, but he gives up back-to-back hits here in the third inning. Nationally, wild card scenario still very much up in the air. That Arizona team that we saw a number of weeks ago was playing great baseball. They look like they were going to be a lot to handle in October. They may be forced out today. They may not make it.
So if they're forced out, they're not going to make them play this doubleheader for seeding.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't, would they?
They would not. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I thought it was like they might have to play one. Right?
Depending on the situation, the commissioner says play one game.
It might just be one game.
Could be.
Because if Arizona loses and the Mets and Braves win, that puts them ahead, right? But through the tiebreaker, but trying to figure out the 5-6.
If we're both in, I'm playing the next day. I don't care who it is. I'd rather be healthy than try to pick my opponent. We've seen how that doesn't always work in the playoffs, especially lately.
And seeding in the American League between Kansas City and Detroit is the only thing to be determined.
And they just jumped up to a 3-0 lead. Kansas City.
3-2. Ground ball and a diving play. Throw to the plate and not in time. Grissom gets in there. First baseman Aranda came up gunning, couldn't get him. Red Sox lead 2-0.
Yeah, Aranda going to his right, and because he drops the ball, that's what affects the throw. And Vaughn Grissom just coming in barely to get in safe before the tag was applied. I thought that was an interesting choice to go home after he bobbled the ball. I thought he was just going to take the out at first base.
Right.
Anytime you have to lay out and you lose control of that ball, that runner's coming home. If it's on contact, they're going to be safe.
Connor Wong swinging at the first pitch for the second consecutive at bat. He fly to center in the second inning. 2-0 Sox here.
Yeah, have you noticed, Lou, like everything now is go on contact.
Oh yeah.
They're like, it's like a new thing in baseball where it's like we're just going to try it.
Aranda under it. 2 away.
Well, I think for this team here, it's sort of been their mantra, you know, as far as putting pressure on, use your speed. Although, you know, Grissom, I don't think is the speedster. You know, if you look at his jump, there was a little hesitation. Like he doesn't run like a lot of these guys on this team do. I wouldn't put him in a class of Rafael or Duran Wong, any of these guys, Romy Gonzalez. But I think Cora just kind of wants to continue to put pressure on the defense. If you make the play, you're out. We'll go from there.
It's kind of odd too with a guy that Tristan Casas is, you know, a strong guy, and they're playing infield in. He's going to probably hit the ball hard on the ground usually at somebody. I mean, yeah, he might roll over something, and maybe you're just thinking, hey, if he hits the ball hard, it's going to be in the outfield, so you don't even care about the contact read. But I find it interesting every time that infield's in, you see a lot more guys taking off with less than one out.
Well, with one out, I think you do it all the time. You know, with nobody out, I still think, like, if he was on third with nobody out, he's not going.
But we have seen it a lot, though. I mean, I see a lot more now that they just take the chance, and I don't know if it's just an analytical thing.
Got under it. Abreu with a mile-high pop into right. Low on approach. And that does it, but the Red Sox pick up the first 2 today. We take a look at FanDuel's same game parlay. You can bet $5, win $27.06. Kevin Youkilis, Dave O'Brien, Lou Merlone, and Jemai Webster with you from Fenway, last day of the season. Morel will hammer one foul at home plate. He's 0 for 1.
See that fastball there, sinker at 94. In Pittsburgh, he was 91. And this is the whole thing. We're talking to Breslow a little bit about it, like trying to maximize the big body and try to figure out how to get that velocity up. A lot of people that I've talked to, they love him in that 94, 96 range. But in that 91, kind of struggle a little bit. But there's more swing and miss, like you talked about him and Fitz. A little more upside with this guy because of the swing and miss.
1-2. I mean, that series in Pittsburgh wasn't terribly memorable, and his performance wasn't either. It was easy to forget. But he's throwing a lot harder here today.
Yeah, and it makes that much more effective, right? Anytime you see a guy at 94, 95, if it's 90, 91, you feel a lot more comfortable in the box. You can lay off that slider down away, the curveball and the dirt. But he rushes 94 with movement, 95 with movement on you. Now it speeds everything up, and you get swings like that.
Yeah, that's his first strikeout of the game here in the fourth.
Brings up Josh Lowe. He's grounded out 0 for 1.
Yeah, to me, it's that pitch right there, though, that slider, right? I mean, right there, you saw it back up on him a little bit. Yeah, you go look at a lot of his the baseball savant, and it doesn't have a lot of bite to it. You know, and as a hitter, when you get that slider and it's a mistake, you absolutely crush it. That's why these guys are now working on the sweeper, trying to get something with a little more horizontal to it to try to stay away from some barrels.
2-1 to Lowe, little dribbler. Priester, fought with it with Wong, and nobody got it. And Lowe's going to be on with a base hit. An infield single with 1 away.
Need that to play. Lowe
Yeah.
runs. He just runs too well. Lowe can get down the line, big guy, but athletic and fast. No matter who picks this ball up, probably lucky they didn't throw in the right field.
Wasn't entirely like that, but Connor Wong, we showed this yesterday, made one of the top 3 defensive plays for the Red Sox all year on a play, a little dribbler up the third base line, and made a spectacular throw to get the out.
Then right after that Rortvedt, we saw Rortvedt make a great play out in front too.
That's right. DeLuca 0 for 1. He's popped to first.
Yeah, one thing about this Rays team too, Josh Lowe didn't play a full season this year. You know, and that's one guy they're looking. I mean, he had a heck of a year in 2023 where he had 20 home runs, you know, and hit 292 with an OPS of 835. This year it was only 693. So they're looking for him to be a guy that, once fully healthy again, hopefully next season can put together another season like he did in 2023.
It allows a guy who can hit for big power. When he's healthy, he can be a monster.
Yeah, he's the streakiest guy. When he is hot, good, you do not want to face him.
Yandy Diaz won a batting crown last year. Sogard charging, throwing, close, got him. Bang, bang. He's made a couple of beauties today.
This is close, though, with Casas' foot. Let's see if he holds it on here.
Yeah, Sogard's just been impressive, kind of just.
Oh.
See if they want to take a peek at that, but it was pretty close. Bang, bang. But
yeah,
he kind of is advertised. I remember watching him in spring training. He got off to such a good start in spring, and you're like, man, you like watching this kid play baseball. And like, he's the type of guy that the more you watch, the more you like. It's like sum of all parts. He does everything really well, and it adds up to a pretty good player.
Well, he's a perfect utility player too, because he's a switch hitter.
Carlson will look at a strike on an 82-mile-an-hour curveball. Runner at second. Red Sox hit 2-0 into the fourth inning. Here on closing day.
It's a battle for fourth place, Obi. Could you feel the excitement in the air? Someone's trying to claim third place in the East.
I was wondering why it was tingling.
Fan base is buzzing right now here at Fenway.
I'm more of a Ricky Bobby guy. If you're not first, you're last.
1-1 hammered and a base hit into right field. Low coming around. Abreu gunning to the plate. It's cut off in front. They've got the runner and a runner on run does score. Oh, front away, and the Red Sox butcher that. And he winds up all the way down to second. Well, that was ugly.
Yeah, I think what happened, I think Grissom just thought Sogard was going to just tag him. You know, Carlson was almost kind of giving himself up here. It's first, good throw from a little bit high, but still Connor does a nice job coming up and getting him in a rundown. And Sogard, the runner just gives up. So I think Grissom just felt like.
No, there was two guys. You see that? Casas and Grissom. So watch. Look where Casas is.
Yeah, but Casas just goes. He goes to throw it to Vaughn.
What do we got?
I don't.
What do we got?
I don't know. Them was worried about covering second. They got to worry about that. But the runner just gave himself up. I think he just thought Sogard was going to just touch him.
I'm not going to lie to you. That looked like a broken play in football.
It did. Red Sox
took off to second.
Red Sox make their 115th error.
I'm glad you took that. How do you explain that?
Well, he's just trying to cover a bag, but I think
that was. I've never seen that though.
I don't know where Grissom was running.
Like hit somebody. Caballero with a cut and a miss. They have a chance to tie this up. An error on the shortstop, obviously.
That's a tough error.
Yeah,
that's a really tough error.
Why are you both running away from me? I'm running to you.
I'll tell you, this game is so great because you'll see something you've never seen before, and it's sometimes not pretty. Oh! Right there, that was unbelievable. Never seen that. Yeah, and the rule too is you're not supposed to leave your bag if there's no one around too. So like Sogard, you have to like give it up right immediately and get the rundown. So luckily that's spring training. They got that to take care of.
We didn't quite have enough time with Craig Breslow. He only had the half inning, and that went by quickly. We didn't really address the defense, which has been such an Achilles heel for the Red Sox for a couple of years now.
Well, again, to me, I still think that's like personnel. I feel like the last 2 or 3 years has been a lot of bat first guys coming up.
Yeah.
And when you're a bat first guy and you struggle up in this league and you can't help the team defensively, that's tough. Now you look out in the outfield, and I don't know if this is going to be the outfield. You know, but Rafaela, Duran, and Abreu, 3 Gold Glovers. They will be finalists. If these guys stay in those positions, they would be 3 Gold Glove finalists. Stories at shortstop. So now we'll see what the outfield looks like next year. Who knows? But well, better defense, get better defensive players.
3-2 and got a piece of that. I do think the Red Sox would have had a markedly better defensive year had Trevor Story not been injured early on. You know,
100%, because then Rafaela, kind of another plus defender, goes somewhere else and improves your defense.
Agree, but the corners have had an issue.
Payoff pitch here from the righty. Check swing on the infield. Sogard with another play, gets it side retired, but with the help of an error, they're on the board. Sox in front here 2-1 as we go to the last half of the 4th inning. Delighted to have Rich Hill in the booth with us, at least for a little while, because he's been down on the field. He's been in the radio booth. And, you know, when you're done for the season, you're not really done, are you? You're all over the place.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to go play for Team USA, Dave. So we're pretty excited about that. And, you know, that'll be pretty much the whole month of November.
Wow.
You know, hopefully, you know, you go to Mexico, you play in Mexico, you win there, you move on, you go to Japan. So I've never been to Mexico, not Japan. So see how it all comes together.
You'll love Japan.
Well, the guys were kidding you when you came in. As Sogard hits a high fly into left, you look like an executive. You look like a baseball executive, the way you're all decked out and the presentation and all that. I wonder if that's in your future too.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not, you know, there's a lot of options that are open, right? But I love playing the game and still feel that, you know, that ability to contribute. Now you got to be realistic at some point where it's, you know, hey, time to move on and watch our son Bryce play, because he's just made his big transition to the big diamond this morning, actually.
Really?
First practice.
That'll skip into left field off the bat of Rafael as he takes the turn.
Got to be careful there. Looked like he was going to go for 2. So yeah, a lot of stuff on the table, and looking forward to making, you know, a decision. I think staying in baseball obviously is something that is going to be the next move, and what that is. I'm not 100% sure, but the dress is for Joe. That's for Joe.
Yes.
Big day, Joe's day. Incredible.
It's got to be a bit of a zoo over there, though. You
it
spent some time in radio.
Now I'm curious, when you came back, did he take a commission? Because I feel like Joe has like always been your agent, not just for the Red Sox, but every team in baseball.
Oh,
right? Rich is sitting out there. I don't know what's going on. Why don't we sign him? Why hasn't everybody signed him?
He's great. He always makes it about everyone else and never about himself, and I think that's, you know, sum it up in a short, how do you condense everything throughout an entire career? But even going to the Hall of Fame and watching his speech with the Ford Frick Award.
Yes, you were there for that too.
Right, but it was all about everybody else, and it was Joe's day. So.
Runner goes. Here's the throw down. He's looking for his 20th, but he's going to be cut down.
That was a cannon.
Raphael on a chuck by Driscoll. And 2 down.
Driscoll's got it gone. He's like a 188 pop time the second. Really strong arm. And Zaydan trying to get that number 20. He's going to have to wait maybe for later in the game as we try to get Mick here his first knock.
0-2 on Mickey Gasper, who struck out first time up.
Just met his best friend downstairs. So I'd love to see this come through. He's hit a bunch of balls on the screws. And obviously nothing's fallen in yet, but what a great guy. Unbelievable in the clubhouse. Incredible attitude. Always positive every day.
Yes. Ooh, that was close.
All right, any more clubhouse secrets? I mean, you were just on the team, so tell us, give us the skinny.
What? Oh, this isn't a podcast.
It's a good group, though, isn't it? And
It is a great group. It's a great group. Yeah, Richard Fitz, who obviously has thrown the ball extremely well this September, and Quinn Priester, who's making his Red Sox debut today. Just the way those guys are hungry, the way that they went about their business in Worcester, and it's no surprise to see a guy like Richard Fitz, pitching as well as he did this September. And also Quinn Priester. I got to see him last year in Pittsburgh.
So, Rich, if you get back into baseball, right, outside of pitching, because that, I mean, you could be a player, man. You could be a player coach too. I mean, you can do that as well. But what are you looking to get into?
I don't know. I should ask you guys. I mean, that's kind of the next step, right?
Oh, Pepio just hurt himself. He slipped.
Gasper on him. Ball 4. And let's see what's up with Pepio. They're going to come out. Cash and a trainer for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, right away when he went to go deliver, he kind of slipped and couldn't tell.
That's a good time to start your off.
Yeah, it was what, he just slid?
Yeah. Looked like the front ankle. He kind of caught his spike a little bit sideways when he came down on the side of his cleat, and continue to keep rolling over on that side of his foot. Well, but that'll happen. That'll happen. I'm sure that happened to you guys in the box, right? When you step and you kind of catch it a little bit. And the other thing is all the foot placements that happen throughout the game, especially for relievers as the game goes on, it starts to change a lot. So your foot, you have to, obviously the footing is so important.
It also changes with the weather, right? Dries out in different scenarios. But luckily Dave Meller can just say, hey, that wasn't me. I'm out.
Right. This is one of the best mounds in baseball, though, to be honest.
Is it really?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just the clay that they use, however whatever they use to mold it and keep it consistent, and it doesn't dig out, and I'm sure you guys have felt that. You can, like with the box, and when you're stepping in there, right, Lou, it's like, sometimes it would be really dug out fast.
Well, Dave Mellon, another guy, 23 years, he's retiring.
Yeah.
And it's like 23 years, been in baseball for 39.
Right.
When I was here, this infield is in such better shape now.
Right.
Like when I was here, I remember Robbie Alomar used to tell me it's the only field in baseball he would drop to a knee at second, because it was inconsistent.
The crown. Remember the crowned infield? I think the Red Sox and the Cubs were the last of the crowned infields. You're sitting in the dugout and Wrigley, and you can't even see.
You wouldn't see the right fielder. Or if you're in the first base dugout, you couldn't see the left fielder.
You couldn't see, you see half a body.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was unbelievable.
1-1 and Valdez hammered foul.
And that's one of my greatest memories of Tim Wakefield was when he ran. I was coming out to go on deck, and he's running around this crown infield to come in on a hit from Johnny Damon, and he's going in sideways, running down the crown. And I love that. When we sat here with Wake and we played it, he would laugh, and it was a great memory. But it goes back to the crown infield. Trying to run on crown infields was even harder. You're going uphill, going to second.
Right. Going for that double. You're going into the first base coach's box and then getting a little workout in.
2 out with Gasper on as we chat with Rich Hill. How about the broadcasting end of things? How much does that appeal to you?
It is. Yeah, it's definitely, obviously exciting. And I love talking about the game. I love meeting the players and talking about the players and being able to find out what their backgrounds and where they came from and how they got to the point that they're at right now on the major league field and in the box or on the mound or out in the field of play. So it's something that is intriguing and something that, I think is definitely on the table.
Now the most important question of the day: what's up with your Wolverines?
Yeah, that was good. Hey, they squeaked one out yesterday. A W's a W. Saw Roger in the booth next door, and I said, that was a tough meeting with Texas.
Valdez with a pop-up as Palacios goes out. Can you hang with us another half inning?
Sure, yeah.
Great. More with Rich Hill when we come back. 2-1. Red Sox have the lead.
Derek Lowe.
Inning 5 presented by Salem 5 Bank. With the Sox in front 2-1. Our buddy Rich Hill joining us in the booth. We're grabbing him over from radio. He's had a very busy day already, but you spent time with Quinn Priester. We don't know much about him. We did see him when the Red Sox played the Pirates very early in the season. He looks a little different. He's throwing harder right now, but give us your scout on him and what you think about him.
Yeah, I know down in Worcester they were able to work with him with a few things. I think with his posture and the way he was coming down the mound and being able to maximize his volume or maximize his velocity off of the mound and get back into those upper 90s numbers that he was looking for. But really, I think what the other thing that happened was being able to get that breaking ball in the zone more consistently. A guy like Quinn, he reminds me of Derek Lowe, for example, with that sinker, and the fastball that kind of cuts across with the sweeping action across the plate. But he loves baseball, obviously. But with that, I mean, that's kind of a blanket statement. But with that, it's the love that leads to the consistency of looking for ways to get better. And we've all played with guys that they're really good at the game, but sometimes you question whether they truly love to play. But that's not the case here for Quinn. He is somebody that continuously on a daily basis is improving his craft.
You're a guy that tries always looking for ways. The bottom line is get guys out. Right. Look at the game today. And there's a lot of chasing velocity, but even more so, you could see a guy this year, any one of these Red Sox pitchers, talk to them in spring training and learn that they've changed their changeup. They got a different slider. They're now throwing a split instead of a change. You know what I mean? Like everybody is just changing repertoires over an off season. To me, I worry about that health-wise for a lot of guys.
I agree with you on that point too, and then also the consistency of it. I mean, we talk about the 10,000-hour rule, and you sit there and you think about how much time it takes, and the hours that go into just perfecting a pitch, perfecting a swing, being able to analyze a pitcher that you're going to hit against, and then going into an off season, there are good things that you can change, and there's also too much tinkering that you can do. So that's definitely a concern in some aspects, especially for younger pitchers who are, or players who are really impressionable. So you got to be careful, a balancing act as far as how much do you want to put into the mix in the off season.
Yeah. And even chasing the velocity part too, like we've seen it. We see 97, 98 get hit all the time when you miss location.
Sure.
So you lose location.
Yeah, Lou, one of the things in 2017 or 18, Cody Bellinger, had an at bat, and I distinctly remember this. Because he came back in off the dugout, and as you get after I think he struck out, he comes back into the dugout, and as you guys know, when they hitters come back, you guys talk, right? And he goes, hey, how's his fastball? I remember hearing that, and then I looked up, and I'm like, he's throwing 96 to 98 miles an hour, and he goes, it's okay. So again, to your point, velocity.
Oh yeah, there's times 96, 98 feels like 94, and then sometimes 93 feels like 97.
So again, chasing the right things, chasing your ability to be able to maximize your potential. That might be with a breaking ball, but again, it's also pitching, not throwing. So how are we going to, get to the point where, that can be something that is more of the emphasis.
Ground ball to the second baseman Grissom, looking to start something here. The double play. 4-6-3. Palacios hits into that. And 2 gone.
I'll tell you what, guys, the game goes a lot quicker from up here. I know that been able to play with the pitch clock from down there, and you're watching it in the dugout or in the clubhouse grabbing a coffee or something.
Well, that's why we loved when you came in. You're like this kid here and Cooper Criswell. You would just grip it and throw it.
Yeah. Hey, I remember pitching here in 22, and I forget who I was facing. It might have been Robinson Chirinos, and he was up. We were playing what would have been the Orioles, and he was telling me to slow down, and I got him to ground out to third or short, and he's running across from first, and he's like, cursing me out. And we played together coming up through the minor leagues. And I'm like, hey, we're going to have to play with the pitch clock next year, so might as well get used to it. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys hate that, though, when pitchers are quick pitching, and you're up there, and you're like, come on.
Well, it went the other way.
Yeah, if you're smart, though, you do a little bug in the eye, you act like you.
Absolutely.
And I was lucky. I might be sweating so much that I did have sweat in my eyes, so I could just wipe it off and just be like, whatever.
Because nobody on earth sweats like Kevin Youkilis.
I remember that.
He's sweating right now.
High five. Not yet. Pat on the back.
Caminero here with the bases empty as we chat with the great Rich Hill.
I mean, you obviously work fast. We were talking like back when there was no pitch clock. You used to have to call timeout to slow a guy down. He's in rhythm. It's advantage pitcher. They got back to it.
It is, yeah. And I think, that brings up a whole other.
Dug it, baby.
Strike 3. We'll let you go.
It
was just
guys.
A pleasure always. And
thanks, Dave.
Real honor. Great to see you again, Rich. Thank you, my man.
Thanks, you.
Good luck, Rich.
Nobody better. Rich Hill, 2-1 Boston.
Appreciate it.
Back at Fenway, underway on ball 1 to Jarren Duran, who started a mini rally in the 3rd inning, put the Red Sox in front 2-1. He had a base hit, scored a run. Montgomery, the lefty, the next man up here for Tampa Bay as he follows Pepio.
Yeah, not a fan of him. He's from Texas Tech, and they just took down the Bearcats yesterday. Oof.
Oh, who'd the Friars play?
They're still undefeated.
Providence Intramural Flag Football League. We were always tough.
Hey, how about that Georgia-Alabama game? Was that something else?
Oh, that was awesome.
It's a great finish. One of the best moves I've seen a wide receiver put on anybody. No spin move.
The 17-year-old?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to be doing that major college football in that environment. It's a lot of fun in my house, I'll tell you that, as Duran goes down swinging. My daughter went to Georgia. My son went to Alabama. It was a war in my living room for about 3 hours.
Did you just sit there with popcorn?
Pretty much. Kept my mouth shut.
To celebrate our fans, the Red Sox Foundation is guaranteeing a jackpot of $50,000 for the 50-50 raffle. Buy tickets at redsox.com/5050 through the 6th inning for the chance to win half of the jackpot. See official rules for full details.
Vaughn Grissom with a double. Scored a run in the 3rd inning. 23 years old. He is the youngest player on the Red Sox roster.
It's really a tough year for him. Yeah, it's not his fault that Sale's going to win the Cy Young, right? But it is about the return for a guy like that and the injuries. I mean, he's in the competition, for second base. I don't think it's going to be handed to him, but he's shown a lot more here, especially offensively, I think, since he's come back.
He also got sick in there. He lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And getting that back was no easy task. He has that slender frame anyway. So that was a long road back to full strength.
Yeah, I think it's also hard that he's wearing your boy's number, Lou. The first time I saw him come out, I was like, oh gosh, that's such a tough number.
I think Rocco Baldelli was.
Yeah,
is he the first one?
Yeah,
I think he might have been.
Where?
But like Rocco, you're like, whatever. He's from New England. It works.
Johnny Gomes.
Nomar's number, yeah, Johnny.
He just got to tap his toes and mess with his batting gloves a little bit more.
Right, left up the steps.
Then there's the rest of it.
Swing first pitch and hit a bullet.
Oh, he's a psycho. Oh, he had so many superstitions.
3-2. All of you guys do.
It's true.
It's amazing. I've never met a ball player who really was bereft of superstitions. Everyone's got several.
Yeah, mine aren't superstitions because they all worked.
That's right. See, you're all convinced of that. Well, 4.
I think that when you play 162 games and you come in every single day, it's like it's just something you do, like, repetitive. After a while, it becomes a superstition because you get dressed a certain way, you go out in the field, the line a certain time, you do what you do on deck, and after every day doing it, it just becomes part of your approach and how to be ready.
Sure.
The culinary aspect was always tough because, you eat something, you have a routine, but then you go on the road and you can't get that. Then you're panicking. How do I find this to replicate what has got me on this hot streak?
Yeah.
I remember always doing that, like, oh God, what do I do now?
Because you can't find the same chicken.
But that's Boggs. Boggs was good. He just had fried chicken. It's everywhere.
Well, it's like this guy. Did you read the piece on him? I think Jen McCaffrey, Athletic, wrote about Casas and eating 40-ounce steaks. Or, I mean,
he can eat.
Everybody's talking about. I think it was Cora that said, I'd rather take him out shopping than take him out to dinner because all he does is eat everything.
This is going to be one of the most fascinating books in baseball history when he writes one.
I think he is. It said that in that article. Him and his dad. I don't know what it's about.
0-2. Shot the other way. Morel backing up and play it off the wall behind him. The throw is going to come into third behind the diving and sprawling Vaughn Grissom. Very aggressive there into third. On a long single off the wall by Tristan.
Yeah, but this is one you got to get to third base on because right off the bat you're sprinting. If he catches it, he's not going to get you out if you have to retreat. Every time you're on first base and that ball goes up in the air like that to left field, you're moving fast too. Good job to take the extra turn and get on to third with one out.
And Kyle Snyder, their fine pitching coach, heading out to the mound here to chat with Montgomery.
That's easy too because it's right in front of you, right? The minute you see Morel turn his back, then you know it's hitting the wall. A lot of guys will try to deke you before they commit to play it off the wall, but Vaughn going into second sees that back turn, know it's going to hit the green monster, and he gets to third.
Yeah, it's one thing you got to work on too is your depth perception on it too, where once you see him turn that back, like that's when you know you can go. But a lot of times you can just tell if they're going to catch it once you get past towards second base. If you work on it, that's the big thing is a lot of guys need to work on that more.
So first and third, one away. Connor Wong will climb in 0-for-2.
He just missed that ball too. He hit out to center field. Those are the worst. You hit that deep fly ball to center field. You just popped it up a little bit too much, knowing that, man, if I just got that barrel a little bit above where that swing path was, that ball would have been crushed.
Fastball 97, but he missed with that. So for both of you guys, who's coming out of the American League and the National League to play in the World Series as we get set for postseason play, which begins on Tuesday with the wild card getting started? On the infield, scoop and a low throw, mishandled. He came off the bag. Everybody's safe as a run scores. Grissom in. Red Sox lead at 3-1.
Yeah, this is a bad play from Caballero. It makes no sense why he gave this ball up. He's right in a position where he can just go touch the base and have a hard, strong throw. That's a tough play for Palacios to turn that, right, Lou? From that positioning, right?
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable, but it's just an awful feed to go with it. You can't feed the guy to the right of the bag. You got to get him inside the infield. I'll take this by yourself.
That one, he does. And that will be a double play. We'll have more conversation about postseason when we come back. 3-1. Sox add on. So Quinn Priester can win it. His pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. Ace Ticket, best seats at the lowest prices.
Yeah, good outing from Quinn Priester, trying to show off what he can do. 89 pitches, the 58 strikes, only giving up the 1 earned run with the 2 strikeouts. And how he did that too, he utilized that slider a lot more today than he does the sinker. Usually a sinker is the pitch he likes to use, but 34% of the time he uses the slider, 29% the sinker.
5-4now.com. Call to the bullpen. Winkowski working the 6th inning. Red Sox 3, Tampa Bay 1.
I think Priester kind of falls in that category of fits, right? Got to put a big league rotation together, but you also need some arms down in AAA to kind of get you through a season sometimes, so you don't be ripping through openers.
Aranda takes one high, 0 for 2.
I think both those guys have kind of shown it, right? Not much swing and miss here from Priester. He did get 5 on that slider. That's the most, but 9 overall. But he and Fitz both kind of fall into that category. Something that Breslow tried to fill. They didn't have any. They didn't have anybody in AA or AAA. No starters to call upon.
Yeah, I think that's the bit. I mean, we've talked about it a ton lately, but you know, this team at the start of the year was a lot of 3s and 5s. Tanner Houck played himself into a 1/2. Right, had a great year, but you got to get a couple guys at that top to allow those guys to fit into that 3 through 5 roles effectively.
Yeah, you see his slider get the most outs with it at 6. The sinker's good. He had that 54% ground ball rate down in AAA, so he gets the ground ball, but the sinker was heavily used here today.
StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. So we kind of teased it as we went to commercial break. Who you guys are thinking will come out of the American and National Leagues and eventually play for the World Championship? You start with you. Out of the American League, who's your favorite as we get ready for postseason play? And that'll be a base hit in the center.
Man, that is a good question. You know, the one thing about the American League, and you dissect it, you don't feel great about the American League overall. Like the win-loss totals, right? You got New York and Baltimore in this division. You know, I think it's just such a crapshoot in the American League. For me, I'll go with, oh man, I have 2 choices here that I'm thinking, and they're listed up there in my opinion. I'm not feeling great about, Kansas City and Detroit. You know, they're playing a little bit of good ball, but I still think the Yankees had the best chance, you know, offensively with that unit and their bullpen. I think their bullpen is strong, and I'll take the Yankees in that. And then the National League, yeah, this is another tough one, but I'm going to go San Diego.
San Diego in the NL and the Yankees in the American League. Be a heck of a World Series. That one torched and foul by Lowe. And Lou, who you leaning?
Well, it's like who you rooting for, who you think is going to go there. I'm rooting for San Diego. You know what I mean? But I can see Philly. I just think that they're just a really solid team. Same with the American League. It's sort of like I wouldn't mind just seeing Cleveland. I kind of like the way they go about their business, but I'm not betting against Houston. I can't take New York, but I'm not, and I don't think I even would. I actually worry about their bullpen. Holmes, I don't know what you're going to get from him. If I'm playing the Yankees, I'm pitching to Soto and I'm walking Judge. Someone else is going to knock me out and send me home. I'm not pitching to him. Period. There's no need. I'll pitch to Austin Wells. I'll pitch to whoever's up after him.
What if you had?
He's not sending me home golfing.
Right.
He's not doing it.
Exactly. But if you had a wild card, like last year's World Series, nobody bet that was going to happen. Texas and Arizona. Nobody picked that. Rangers eventually winning the whole thing.
I mean, Detroit is that team that is hot, that could get it going, but I just don't like their offense. I think they're very aggressive, and they can go down real quick offensively against good pitching.
The other team, though, because they're going to have Skubal, and he's just a different animal, I think, than anybody else.
He's going to win the American League Cy Young in all likelihood. Hammered toward third. That's a fair ball. Valdez throws. Nice job by Casas to get off the bag. They're going to be safe at first and second.
Yeah, he had no chance the way he fielded this ball. It's a hard thing for Valdez to be going to third base like this. You know, middle infielders hate playing third base.
But he looks at Miller right there to see what he ruled. You know what I mean? So, and I get it. He doesn't really play over there that much, but you got to finish this play rather than peek to an umpire to see if he's going to call fair or not, and then let it happen. But he's a second baseman.
Yeah, that play is not supposed to be on the run. That's where you're supposed to plant yourself into the ground, try to get into it, and try to, you know, it's almost like a sliding play. You slide before, get it, back leg it.
Dylan Carlson 2 for 2. Runners on at first and second, 2 away. Red Sox up by 2 runs. And later on in the 9th inning, we will be airing from WEEI Radio as a simulcast Joe Castiglione's call of the final half inning. And ideally for Castig and for us too, Red Sox will have the lead going to the 9th inning. As Joe retires after 42 years as the summertime voice of the Boston Red Sox on radio, in there for a strike on Carlson. A tremendous pregame ceremony. It was announced as Joe Castiglione Day by the mayor of Boston. Proclamation. 1-2. Left it up.
You know, and getting back to that World Series talk, the one team, Atlanta, how they've gotten themselves, you know, if they win, they're going to probably get themselves in. I mean, think if they were a little bit more healthy.
Oh, yeah.
What? Just a little.
We wouldn't need this weekend to get in.
I mean, it's crazy that they're in the playoff race with how many injuries they've had.
Injuries have been staggering.
I was so impressed with San Diego when they came in here, and they didn't have Tatis, they didn't have some of the guys in that rotation. Victor Rodriguez, the hitting coach over there, like, he emphasizes putting the ball in play.
Yep.
They don't strike out, 2-strike contact. Like, to me, in the postseason, offensively, you got to put the ball in play.
And they got a guy with Manny Machado that's been there, done it on the biggest stage.
Cut on a miss. That cutter strikes him out. They're going to strand 2.
Three-1 Red Sox in the bottom of the 6th back here at Fenway, and a manager's decision, the reason for Trevor Story out of the lineup in this series, the season finale, guys. But just talking with him about missing the playoffs in 3 straight years now. It was a solemn clubhouse in Toronto Wednesday when that became official. He said it was hard, tough pill to swallow when you don't reach a goal that you set out for yourself. But he could see the bright side of what this year brought, not only with his return, but the major contributions from rookies like Cedar Rafaela, Wilyer Abreu, and Justin Slayton. He said this is their first time playing a big league season. It's not easy, and just takes a physical and mental toll, and they got their first taste of that. He says experience in this game is golden. These guys will rely on that and continue to build on it in this offseason.
Sogard with a base hit. Continues a really fine weekend. He is 1 for 3 with a single here. Yeah, Trevor Story starting 18 of the Sox last 20 games since he was reinstated off the 60-day IL. And I think when he came back that first week of September, his hopes were very high that his presence, and if the Red Sox got on a little bit of a roll, they could make it to postseason play. So we had a couple of camera shots of him that night the Red Sox were officially eliminated. He was very downtrodden. Cedar Rafaela 1 for 2, showing a bunt, looking at a strike.
Yeah, he's a huge part of what you're going to be here in the next few years. People talk about Marcelo Meyer all you want, but defensively they're not in the same class. Meyer's a great prospect, but that man right there, the last 2 years he has been hurt, he's been out of the lineup, and you have been the worst defensive team in baseball. And that is a big reason why. Moving all these pieces around because of it.
Yeah, Meyer worries you too, because he hasn't really had a full season of pro baseball too, where he stayed healthy. He's been down a lot as well.
Story, an elite defender. That's fouled off by Cedar, who went for his 20th stolen base of the year. He was caught stealing on a rifle shot by Driscoll, the catcher. Batting stats presented by FW Webb, where the pros go.
What are we doing?
I think it came down the netting.
Just keeps rolling.
Between the catcher and the umpire threw Cedar, he had to stop.
Best part is no one can see it but us.
No.
Once again, a very nice crowd in his final 3 games of the season at home. Swung on a missed strike 3. 1 out in the 6th.
All right, from the right side, here it comes.
Mickey Gasper.
Couple shots at it.
He has struck out and walked. Still looking for that major league hit for the first time. He's 0 for 17.
Yeah, definitively he gets 2 more, right?
Should, yeah.
4 years at Bryant University, where he batted .344.
This would be beautiful. Let the ball travel, go to right field with it. Big hole to the right side.
Bounced up there for ball 1.
It's a great take.
Last thing he wants is a full pitch walk. Right? Oh yeah. Who cares about on base percentage right now?
Yeah,
right?
he's doing well in that department. Drew the walk.
Yeah, the Gaspers want to see a knock. Look at her.
Yeah, fastball away.
Send the mojo down.
Been a lot of praying by Mom.
And this though, little gut shot fastball right down the middle.
Red Sox ahead 3-1, 6th inning. 2-0 did not get something to swing at. 3 balls, no strikes.
We're swinging. Any doubt? We're swinging.
I think he's going to have the green light, but judging by yesterday's, he took a couple pitches right there. Let's see if he's. I mean, it's not a good pitch. The one before that one was not a good one to time up. He's got 2 dirt balls that went about 55 feet.
And then decided not to swing on 3-0. And Montgomery's 3-1. Bounce it to short. Into second 1. Little hesitation. Low throw. Dug it out. Aranda digging that out at first base to complete the double play and retire the side. This Red Sox broadcast on NESN is brought to you in part by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. Kevin Youkilis, Lou Merlone, Dave O'Brien, Jemai Webster. It is 3-1. Red Sox have the lead going to the 7th inning. Guerrero coming out of the bullpen, hard-throwing right-hander who has thrown the ball quite well. I think he has opened some eyes. Facing Caballero. Cuts right through it, and it's 0-2. That was 98.
Yeah, it's got good life on it. The slider, that third pitch, is something he's been searching for a while. The split's always been there for him, but you know, the location. I mean, he didn't have anything for hitters to get off the fastball. He was one of those guys where 98 would get hit. But now it's first pitch slider, first strike. It's split finger. The fastball plays up. He has been impressive.
Caballero 0 for 2. If he gets on, he's going to run. Back on May 5th, he became the 2nd Tampa Bay player with 4 stolen bases in a game. Carl Crawford was the other guy. And a pop-up on the infield. Casas with a play. In a shallow right. 1 down.
Tuesday at 6, get the latest Bruins news as they gear up for the season. Catch Bruins back to work Tuesday at 6, presented by Cross Insurance, only on NESN.
Driscoll 0 for 1 with a walk. At the end of the 7th inning, they will play a video highlighting the career of Joe Castiglione on a celebration day for Castig. And we're going to keep it right here at Fenway so you can enjoy that too. And some of those magnificent calls over the years. One of the things I loved about working with Castig was his attention to detail, which continues to be a passion for his to this day. So if a guy hit a double against, say, the bullpen wall, it wasn't just off off the bullpen wall, it was 2 feet down and a foot to the right of the 380 mark. You know, that kind of thing. So painting that picture for the radio audience, he was so diligent and so loyal to the listener, because baseball is different obviously on radio as opposed to TV. We can see everything, and he was terrific. He never forgot that.
You know, what I loved about him too is when you listen to him, you can always tell if the Sox are winning and losing. You know, he gets into it, he cares, and you know, people are always like, what's he like? I'm like, well, if the team is struggling to score runs, man on third, nobody out, you know, the swing and a pop-up, like that's to me, the swing and the pop-up is like, can you believe it, from Castigs. But if we get out of the inning, didn't score a run, the headset would come off, and we can't score. Like he would. Would be upset.
Why can't we score
during the breaks? We can't score. We're giving up too many home runs. Like he gets upset.
Yes, he does.
To this day.
Where is it?
He just cares.
I mean, we all do, but because of his unique delivery, it always sounded worse when Joe was upset.
Swing and a pop-up.
3-2 and hit to the second baseman Grissom. Will flip on for the second out. Let's go to Jemai.
Well, Dave, there's another one closing his Fenway chapter after 14 years with the Red Sox today. Director of photography Billy Weiss's last day is today. Since 2012, he has documented so many notable moments in Sox history, including the 100th anniversary of Fenway Park, the retirements of David Ortiz, Petey as well, and the 2013 and 18 Red Sox World Championships. He's also been a great partner to us here at NESN and a neighbor here for me in the camera pit. So talented and collaborative, and we wish him the best.
Here, 1, 2, 3. That inning, we go to the bottom of the 7th. 3-1 Boston. Bottom 7, Sox leading Tampa Bay. And a bounding ball at first, mishandled for a moment by Aranda, but he collected that to set down Valdez. One gone.
Season ticket plans for the 2025 season are on sale now. Plans start at 10 and 20 games and offer the best seat locations, benefits, and price. For more information, visit redsox.com/season tickets.
Richard Lovelady, the new pitcher here for Tampa Bay. And taking on Jarren Duran, who's got 1 for 3 with a base hit. And also scored a run when the Red Sox got a pair in the bottom of the 3rd. Duran now with 191 hits, and he has scored 111 runs. He has 48 doubles. That leads the American League.
Oh gosh.
And 14 triples to lead the American League. In both cases, the guy right behind him is the MVP candidate, Bobby Witt Jr.
He's tied with Corbin Carroll, right, with the triples at 14. Hopefully Carroll doesn't get one. Sort of stay where they are. Ty Cobb, Stan Musial, the only other players to lead the league in doubles and triples. It's going back a while.
Probably has something to do with the way the ballparks are designed now too. Shorter fences overall, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a lot of ballparks back in the day were a lot bigger. Especially those AstroTurf ones. You just hit that ball in the gap to right center field. You're on 3rd.
2-2 on Duran. Grissom next, and then Casas. Red Sox looking to get a little more separation here in the last day of the season.
It was a great year for this kid, though. I mean, it's going to be 160 games started. I wonder because you did it once, if next year that turns into 154 and you just give him the occasional days off to keep that body feeling good.
I would hope that's going to be the case, because he did wear down. He's had a bit of a second life here the last 10 days or so, but He had that period for about 3 weeks where he was really wearing it. At third, gobbled up by Caminero.
It's absolutely amazing, though, how hard he plays the game and how hard he runs every time he hits the ball and puts it in play. To be able to post the way he has, I mean, it's that in itself. I mean, the season alone, if you look at the offensive numbers, is spectacular. But the fact of how hard he played, that's the big one.
1 for 4 today. Grissom with a double and a walk. You look back over the season, there were several points of the season, I'll bet you guys agree, where you were like pretty much convinced the Red Sox were going to get to postseason play. Grounded to the right side, it'll be Palacios. This will be a fast inning. We're going to stay right here at Fenway for a video and audio tribute to our great friend Joe Castiglione. 42 years the radio voice of the Red Sox.
0-1 to Carl. Swung on a line drive down the right. The underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions. For the first time in 86 years, the Red Sox have won baseball's world championship. Can you believe it? Swing and a miss. It's over. The Red Sox have swept the Colorado Rockies. The Red Sox are the world champions of baseball for 2007. Swing at a high fly ball left field deep. Grand slam. Shane Victorino. There's a drive to right field deep. Way back it goes. Number 500, David Ortiz. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. It's over. The Red Sox have won the world championship. The Boston Red Sox beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1.
Today's 180 moment of the game presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Boston Red Sox. The pregame ceremony for Joe Castig with his family on hand, his wife Jan, the kids, and all the grandkids as well. Some great signs. Mayor of Boston proclaiming it Joe Castiglione Day in the city. Caminero lifting a fly ball to Abreu, and along the line makes that catch. Chris Martin into the game here in the 8th inning. Joe getting right back to work, describing that fly out. I'm going to miss the sound of that voice so much. He is going to do occasional games, not nearly as many, just a handful moving forward. But as the regular voice of the Red Sox, those days come to a close today.
Well, he's got the house in Fort Myers, so he can sit down there, maybe jump in the booth and spring training possibly.
Yep. I think that's part of the plan.
And just to, going that long too, right? You need to sprinkle in a couple games. Just flatly stopping, it's not easy.
Ooh, that's going to get him. Aranda will take the hit. And struck by the pitch, he'll take the base. And they're out to check on him.
Yeah, a little cutter that just went chasing in and got that left wrist. That is not a good spot. Yeah, I mean, if there's any time to get it hit like that, it's the last game of the season where you got the off season to heal up, but I'll tell you, that is painful.
Well, he'll hang in and take his base with one down. The 8th inning presented by Jimmy Johns.
The sandwich of sandwiches.
And Morel to climb. He's got 1 for 3 with a single. Toward the hole. That'll kick into right field, a base hit. Morel's second knock today, and he'll be on at first and second.
You always wonder why more guys don't try to do this. There's huge holes to that side. You face a guy like Chris Martin. That ball was the sinker, but he likes to throw that cutter to righties, threw that cutter to Ronda. But when you get a guy like Chris Martin that has that good fastball, has the 4 different ones, try to get beaten, just punch it that way. But a lot of guys don't want to buy into that. There's this whole thing of, hey, I got to try to swing and drive it as hard as I can. Well, you might end up walking back to the dugout, punching out. That right there, who cares how you do it? As long as you're taking left turns and getting that dopamine. That's all it is. I always say that. Left turns give you dopamine. Going right, it's less sleep.
That's what makes you feel good. Josh Lowe 1 for 3, a single and a run. Red Sox are going to open the 2025 season on the road at Texas against the Rangers.
Millar's ready.
Yes, he is. He's already prepping. Kevin's ready. He'll join us there, I'm sure. Aranda at second, Morel on at first, 1 away. Off-season key dates include the winter meetings for spring training game February 21 and the home opener April 4 against St. Louis.
It's crazy how that first spring training game just keeps bumping up. February 21st.
Yes.
It used to be the last couple of days of February or March, right around March 1st. I mean, they're moving these dates up too much, I think.
Two swung on and foul tipped. He struck him out. Martin gets the K and 2 away.
Yeah, this is a great cutter. Takes off at the end too and just gets above the barrel. That's the spot you want to climb the ladder, is up and into a lefty.
Johnny DeLuca, just 218 hitter. He has a single today. Tampa Bay 7 hits, Red Sox with 6. Aranda the runner at second, Morel at first for the Rays. And strike 1.
Tell you what, they were talking about the offseason. It'll be interesting to see where Chris Martin, where he lands. Is he back here in the Red Sox uniform, or does he try to go somewhere else? Doesn't have many more years of doing this at his age, so.
And can still be, I think, so valuable.
Yeah.
To a club like the Red Sox. Have that steady force who throws strikes out of the bullpen. Look at a whiff here of DeLuca.
And if he doesn't get signed back here, we talked about him numerous times. No Kenley, no Martin. Those are big holes to fill.
Liner caught. I think that caught Valdez.
Jeff.
Number 3. On to the last half of the 8th inning. Sox in front 3-1. And Casas will cut on strike 1. He has a base hit here in the season finale, 1 for 3. Lou Merloni rejoining us from a fast trip over to radio. How is it over there? Is it getting emotional?
I think it is. I think it's kind of setting in a little bit for him. It's such a special day, but you forget about the man himself, kind of doing it for 42 years, right? It's everything you've done. So it's I'm really glad that we're be simulcasting that last inning, his call here, and the opportunity. Hopefully somebody can close this thing up. Probably Slayton in the 9th.
Yeah, working today with Will Fleming and Sean McDonough dropping in as well.
I'll tell you, it's been back-to-back years of emotional last day.
Yeah.
Last year was one of the hardest days to call a game with the passing of Tim Wakefield. But luckily this year we get to celebrate a great man and have different emotions.
0-2. Pop to foul territory and out of play. But I remember when the news struck right before the Red Sox played their last game in Baltimore. And then I don't know how you get through that day. I really don't.
Yeah, it was a tough one, but
Bounder up the middle.
As athletes, we're kind of prone into a lot of emotions, a lot of things that happen throughout our careers, and a lot of fans don't know what is going through a player's mind with things off the field. And you learn how to battle through it, but I don't remember that game at all. I don't know the score. I don't remember anything about it, but I just remember just being so emotional with UOB and then Lou too before he had to go on a call, and just a great teammate and a guy that was just super competitive.
Long with a high deep drive headed back toward the wall. Catches plenty of green. He's into second base. A stand-up double. So Red Sox have man in scoring position here in the bottom of the 8th. His 24th double of the year.
Yeah, I was on the call actually with Joe and Will. Actually, I just saw Trot before the game. He and Catherine took Bree part of Parents Weekend yesterday, which is amazing.
Yeah.
They came up Friday night, had a nice dinner, and then Saturday took part in that with her, which I thought was really special and not surprising either with Trot or Catherine Nixon.
Oh, two of the best. There is no one as nice as Catherine Nixon. And the crap she has to put up with her husband.
And he knows it.
Oh, God.
And 2 boys that are just like their father. Trot's the best.
Oh, one hammer down the line, but a foul ball.
2 minutes. Yeah, nice souvenir.
She'd break her phone trying to catch it.
0-2. One of the final souvenirs of the season.
I think he just said it hit him right in the leg.
Even more value.
Yeah, those are dangerous seats right there.
109.5 on a foul ball. He didn't offer there. My favorite moment as far as a fan and a catchable play was the guy up in the monster seats who dropped the absolute cookie with his wife sitting next to him wearing a glove, and he dropped it on the warning track, and his reaction was just absolutely priceless. It went all over the country. It went viral in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, because all he had to do was just basically, if he just got out of the way, I think I remember, it probably would have landed right in his pocket. Yeah, all he had to do was just let it fall behind him and get it.
Fly down the left field line. Morel on the run. It'll sail off into the stands. Let's go back to that in the end of it, because this is the best part. The reaction is no.
Why? Why?
Why me?
Hollywood was calling after that one.
Oh, that was awesome. Then Jemai went up and chatted with him. His wife's looking at him all the time like, I have a darn glove right here. He hit it for strike 3 and 2 down. Red Sox baseball on NESN brought to you by Joseph Abboud. At Joseph Abboud, every day is a special occasion. Subaru of New England is a lot to love about a brand new Subaru. SubaruofNewEngland.com. And by WB Mason, shipping and packaging supplies delivered fast with no expensive freight charges. Nick Sogard 1 for 3. Man at second, 2 out.
The season always feels weird. The game's over, everybody sort of looks at each other, and it's like, all right, bye. I'll see you in Fort Myers. Maybe we work out in the winter, but it's just stay in touch, enjoy your off season. Just comes to a halt. Just over.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember many of these.
Yeah, no.
Where you're not going to playoffs.
I hope we don't remember many more.
No, I think it's time. If you can pull this thing out, you avoid being under 500 and avoid 4th place. Not much. You're the Boston Red Sox. You expect to be in the postseason each and every year. So you hopefully this offseason you take strides into that. So you go into camp feeling like you should be a playoff team.
5 out of 6 years Red Sox missing the postseason. Swung on and missed. 4 strike 3. 1 man left. And coming up in just a moment, a tribute to our dear friend, the great Joe Castiglione. Ninth inning at Fenway. Red Sox leading Tampa Bay 3-1. We are honored to bring you Joe Castiglione's final call of his unforgettable career on WEEI radio.
Dylan Carlson, the former Cardinal, who had an RBI single back in the 4th inning. Tall right-hander delivers, and he gets a swinging strike. Carlson, a left-hand batter, formerly with the Cardinals. So many great memories today. Saw so many friends. It was wonderful, especially when those former players came out of the dugout. There's a bunt, push third base side, foul. That's fair. It's fair. It landed behind the bag at third in the air, and Bill Miller there called it fair. Grabbed in foul territory by Valdez, so a bunt single. That was about a 95-foot bunt. You don't see that very often. So they get the tying run to the plate. And here's Jose Caballero, league leader in stolen bases. So tying run at the plate. And the pitch home to the right-hand batter is taken low, ball 1. But the lengths some people traveled, just amazing. Pedro up from the south, Roger Clemens from Texas, and the local guys. So great to see all of them. Pitch low and away. Keith Folk here, and so many others. Rich Gedman, we just chatted with during this game. Dwight Evans, Jim Rice, Rich Hill, Bob Montgomery. There's a pop-up. This should be playable right near the plate. Casas coming down, taking charge, and he makes the catch about 10 feet from home plate and foul ground by about 3 feet. He took charge there. He had to come a long way. So a foul out, 2 outs left in this season. And here is Driscoll, the catcher. It will be around some next season. The Red Sox are going to keep me on in sort of an ambassador's role, quote unquote. But it should be fun, and maybe we'll have a day off here and there. It's filled in. There's a shot towards center field. Raffaelli in 2 steps stabs the bullet for the out. That knuckled a little bit, but he caught it. So 1 out left in this season, unless they get the equalizer here. And the last batter, last hope for Tampa Bay, will be Palacios. If the Red Sox keep this lead, both Tampa Bay and the Red Sox will finish at 500, 81 and 81. That happened once in my career, 1985. I finished 500. Here's the pitch, and it is in there for a strike. But, you know, that's great teams to cover. Only 9 losing seasons over 42 years, and of course 4 world championships and all those postseason appearances. Here's the pitch to Palacios, and he swings and lines a bullet off the glove of the diving first baseman with a foul ball. Foul ball, says the home plate umpire. His body was in fair ground, but that doesn't make any difference. Unfortunately, that would have, had it been fair, put the tying run in scoring position. So it's 0-2 with 2 down. Rays down to their last strike. Boston 3, Tampa Bay 1, 2 out in the 9th inning. Justin Slayton is ready. Here's the pitch home, and he lines a foul, third base side, out of play. We tried to thank as many people as we could when we talked on the field today. The Red Sox, Odyssey, and the players who came, but especially the great fans of Red Sox Nation. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and he fouls it again to the left, out of play. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 3-1 Red Sox in the top of the 9th inning. The Fenway finale. Slayton comes to the set. Again, an 0-2 pitch. Check swing, and it's low. He didn't go. Palacios, a left-hand batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 out. $34,862 turning out on the last day of the 24 season. Slayton ready. Here it is. Foul, straight back again, and a high fastball at 97. One ball, 2 strikes. Very honored to have Sean McDonough joining us today, along with Will Fleming and all the guests we had, former players. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing, and he held up.
The Rays don't want this to end, and neither do we.
And the honor is ours, Joe. Truly.
All good things must come to an end. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here it is. Swinging another foul, out of play.
Could you share what you're feeling, Joe?
Nostalgic, sort of numb. You know, it's, I guess I've never been in this position. I've never retired before, but Roger Clemens said he unretired 3 times. So watch out. 2-2 again. Taken high. Caminero would be next. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out. Slayton is ready. The payoff pitch. Swinging a line drive center field. Rafaela going over to his right. He stabs it. And the ball game is over. The season is over. The Red Sox beat the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1. They finish at 81-81 to end the 2024 season. Both clubs in a tie for 3rd place in the American League Eastern Division. Well, I guess it's nostalgia time here at the end of the season and the end of my career as a regular Red Sox broadcaster. We're not going to go away, but you won't see us as often. We hope to be part of the Red Sox organization for a long, long time. But I'm so blessed to have such wonderful people to work for and to work with. We talked a little while ago about my great partner Ken Coleman, who brought me to Boston in 1983. And I would like to close, as we've done every season since Ken retired after the 1989 season, with the way he would close every season, reading from the great words of the former commissioner of baseball, president of Yale University, and longtime family friend in New Haven, Connecticut, A. Bartlett Giamatti, who wrote From the Green Fields of the Mind about the game of baseball. It breaks your heart. It is designed to break your heart. The game begins in the spring when everything else begins again. And it blossoms in the summer, filling the afternoons and evenings. And then as soon as the chill rains come, it stops and it leaves you to face the fall alone. You count on it, rely on it to buffer the passage of time, to keep the memory of sunshine and high skies alive. And just when you need it most, it stops and summer is gone. Another season is gone. My 42 years here have gone so quickly. But now it's time to say goodbye to Red Sox Nation, at least on a regular basis, and to pass the baton to my good friend, Will Fleming.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. Beautiful words by a beautiful man.
Joe, thank you very much. Red Sox in the win column, 3-1 over Tampa Bay in the finale of his career as a regular Red Sox announcer. And this Red Sox win presented by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Red Sox finished the season at 500 at 81-81, and in third place, Tampa Bay, a losing year at 80-82. And we'll continue with more in just a moment here from Fenway Park.